Well, hey, everybody, that worked pretty good. Welcome to the Floridahockeynow Panthers Postgame show. I'm your host, George Richards. The Panthers get off to a nice start. They're 2-0 this season. It's Saturday afternoon here in sunny South Florida, and the Panthers beat the Buffalo Sabres by a score of 4-3. Spencer Knight now 4-0 against the Sabres in his short, but they hope a very long and prosperous NHL career. He was 3-0 against Buffalo last season. One of those games, he came on in relief of Sergei Bobrovsky. I believe Bob gave up 4 goals in a game in Sunrise against the Sabres, and Knight came in and made something like 19-20 saves, gets the win. And then last year in Buffalo, he gives up 3 goals in a 4-3 win, 5-3 win, something like that. Anyway, that was the game, if you remember, that Florida punched their ticket to the playoffs. They were the first team in the NHL last season to earn a playoff spot, and they did so in Buffalo with Spencer Knight in goal. Tonight, Spencer Knight makes, I believe, 24 saves. Let me just check the stats to my memories. 24 saves tonight for Spencer Knight. He makes 12 in the first period. Buffalo scored twice in that first period, but off 13 shots. Spencer Knight makes 5 in the third. Florida outshoots Buffalo 7-5 in the third. It was a 4-3 game going into the third. It stayed that way for the final 20 minutes. Florida, again, with a 4-3 win. They start their season 2-0. The next game for the Florida Panthers is Saturday night. They play the Monday night. Monday, Florida Panthers are playing the Boston Bruins. That game is at 7 o'clock. And then, of course, the Panthers home opener is Wednesday night. The Panthers will play host to John Tortorella, Owen Tippett, and the Philadelphia Flyers. So let's look at what happened today real quick. If you guys have any comments or questions, I haven't seen anything pop up. I appreciate you all that are online here. The way we did this last year, I did it on a phone. I really couldn't see the questions that you all were asking, but now I'm doing it on the iPad. It's a little bit bigger for these old eyes, so I should be able to see them, and then we'll get to them. The Buffalo Sabres start off the game. Alex Tuch scores at 10:35 of the first period, puts the Panthers down 1-0. First time this season they've trailed. If you remember Thursday night against the New York Islanders, the Panthers were up 1-0 in that game. The game was timed. There we go. Hey, FHN. Thank you, Hardwood. Appreciate you. Nice to see the Panthers play again. Ethan, I agree with you. It is nice to see some hockey again. Down 1-0. Florida Panthers get their first goal of the season from Colin White. That comes at 14:03 of the first period. Matthew Tkachuk gives the Panthers a lead with 1:51 remaining in the first period. That comes as he took a roughing penalty, comes out of the penalty box, is able to get in front of the net, and he knocks in a Gus Forsling shot. Mark Stahl, on the Alex Tuch shot, Mark Stahl did a little stumble-roo. I don't know. I mean, was that on purpose? I mean, he was beat pretty good, and then he falls. Anyway, that's not going to fly on the tape. They're going to see that he was, pretty well out of position on that. But that was a line change. I mean, those things kind of happen in the course of the game. I thought Mark Stahl had a pretty solid game, notwithstanding. Regardless, anyway, Colin White gets the goal. Then Matt Tkachuk with a nice goal in front, his second goal in as many games with the Panthers. Tied 2-2 going into the second period. Aaron Ekblad. We should know that name, right? I mean, I've only covered him for the past decade. Aaron, and I got a big story tomorrow, FloridaHockeynow.com. Check it out. It'll be up around 7:45, talking with Aaron Ekblad and Sasha Barkov about how things have changed with the Panthers over the years. Anyway, Alex Ekblad, the Panthers not going to make the playoffs, but no, the Panthers, I don't know why people, anyway. Aaron Ekblad scores 2:31 into the second period, the first power play goal of the season for the Panthers. Florida goes 2 for 6 on the power play, create a ton of chances. They get 13 shots on goal. kind of like Thursday night, only they cash in. Florida had a lot of good chances. I think, they were 0 for 5 on the power play against, stalled on that play, no doubt. He was stalled. Panthers create a lot of chance on these power plays, right? I mean, they were 0 for 5, I believe it was, against the Islanders. Tonight they're 2 for 6, but they are getting a lot of chances. I think the power play looks very good. They're whipping the puck around. They're getting a lot of good looks. And, Gabriel, Panthers defending the lead, locking it down, very good at that tonight. So you could see that. The Panthers only took 7 shots in the third period, and they held Buffalo to 5. They did a really good job defensively tonight. The power play was good in both games. I agree. Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, Aaron Ekblad gives the Panthers a 3-2 lead. First power play goal of the game. Like we said, Florida 2 for 6 on the power play. The second goal comes from Brandon Montour. He gets what turns out to be the game winner with 2:15 left in the second period. Rasmus Dahlin scores for Buffalo with less than a minute left to go in the second period. That makes it a 4-3 game. But like we said, Florida Panthers lock her down in the third period, and that's it. That's the final, 4-3. Expected maybe some fireworks there in the third period from the Buffalo Sabres or from the Panthers. I expected a couple more goals from the Panthers, to be honest with you. But again, they did a real nice job of shutting things down, playing in a very good road game. That includes an extended power play. Buffalo had a 4-on-3 for about a minute 12. Then they had a brief 5-on-3, and then a traditional power play after the Panthers. Who went to the box there? That would have been Sam Bennett gets a tripping, and then Montour took a penalty. So Panthers do a nice job there early in the third, surviving the Buffalo power play. I believe they go 0 for 4 on the power play. Let's look at the shots here. Power play shots. Florida on the power play 2 for 13 shooting, so 13 shots on goal with the man advantage in those 6 power plays. Buffalo has 4 power plays, only get off 5 shots. So the Florida Panthers do a real nice job of shutting things down, making life a little bit easier for Spencer Knight, who makes an absolutely fantastic save of Jeff Skinner in the second period that came right after Aaron Ekblad's goal that made it 3-2. After the game, Spencer Knight says it's just another save. He doesn't pay attention to that stuff. Calm, cool, and collected. Old Spencer Knight, all 21 years old. He literally. You would think he's a 30-year-old guy. You would think he's been in this league his whole life, and it's been that way since he got here. I mean, when he signed here from Boston College, it was just unbelievable. The maturity level of this kid, the players all said it. That was during that COVID season. So he was, really the only guys they could be around were each other. And the veteran guys were like, this Spencer Knight kid, man, he prepares for everything. That was 2 years ago. This is his second full NHL season. He gets his first start in Game 2. I'm expecting we'll see Sergei Bobrovsky back Monday night against the Boston Bruins. But, good start to the season for Spencer Knight. I think the Panthers, we talked about this, if you guys read me on Floridahockeynow, I've written a little bit about Spencer Knight. The Panthers want to give him some more playing time. I think last season, Sergei Bobrovsky came into camp a little bit threatened by Spencer Knight for good reason. Everybody had been talking about, well, Spencer Knight is the goalie of the future, still is. He's going to be the eventual Florida Panther starter, still is. But Sergei Bobrovsky's doing everything in his power to keep this job. He wants to be the starting goalie here in Florida. He's worked really hard to keep it. His play has been very good. And he's remained the Panthers starter. But last year, the Panthers were given 7 out of 8 starts? 7 out of, maybe not that much, but 4 out of 5, 6 out of 7, whatever, to Sergei Bobrovsky early on in the season. And when Spencer Knight finally got in there, you noticed that rust. He was not in any sort of rhythm, and he played that way. He wasn't very good in the first half of the year. If you remember, the Panthers send him to Charlotte. He spends about a month there. Florida claims Jonas Johansson in December off waivers from Colorado. Doesn't play him, but has him there as the backup. That way they could send Spencer Knight and get some playing time. They're not sending Spencer Knight to Charlotte this year. Spencer Knight's going to be here, so you have to play him. You've got to play him. I think we're going to see Sergei Bobrovsky Monday night against Boston, probably Wednesday night against the Flyers. So that's 3 out of 4. The first 4 starts go to Sergei Bobrovsky, and then we'll see what happens Friday night against Tampa Bay. We're really looking ahead here. Rob Tallis again pretty much runs the scheduling for the Panther goalies, so we'll see what happens moving forward. But again, Florida Panthers with a 4-3 win Saturday afternoon in Buffalo. Nice win for Florida. They're 2-0 this season with wins against the Islanders. And the Sabres, Florida again, with a 3+ goal night. They had 3 against the Islanders, thanks to that Matthew Tkachuk empty net goal on Thursday night. Tkachuk gets another one today. That's 2, so he's the Panthers' leading goal scorer through 2 games. So he can get a cup of coffee with that over at Tim Hortons in Buffalo. But for now, the Panthers are going to practice tomorrow, I believe. Are they? No, I think they're off tomorrow. Sunday and Monday. Yeah, I think they're off. No, they're practicing tomorrow. I believe the Panthers are practicing tomorrow in Boston. They'll play Monday against the Bruins, take Tuesday off, and then they'll play Wednesday night against the Philadelphia Flyers. So don't forget to visit us here at FloridaHockeynow.com. Got a lot of stories up online right now. Today's stories, we previewed the Sabres game. We've got our game story up, led with Spencer Knight, and there's what we think looks like the new Florida Panthers reverse retro jersey that looks pretty nice. It's got the bright colors and the light blue. Check it out, FloridaHockeynow.com. Visit me on Twitter at George Richards. Give me a follow. Here on the YouTube channel, we're going to have post-game reaction, I believe, from Spencer Knight, Aaron Ekblad, and Paul Maurice on the YouTube channel here in a minute. Subscribe to that. Doesn't cost you nothing. Thank you to you guys. Stahl had a night and day difference in the... There you go. Everybody ripping on Mark Stahl, but, again, I thought he was pretty solid. And let's see, Mark Stahl, how many minutes did you play? 16-12 on 28 shifts. Again, he got burned. It was a line change. It is what it is. I thought the Florida Panthers played a pretty good defensive game throughout the game. I like Josh Mahura, too. He only got 11:41, so that third pairing, not getting a whole lot of minutes. Who did get the minutes? Aaron Ekblad, almost 25 minutes of play today. Barkov gets 21:41. Tkachuk gets 20 minutes. What other defenseman gets a lot of minutes? I would think that 42 does, right? Yeah, Forsling, 24:37. So Paul Maurice really loading it up on some of his workhorses there. I would think throughout the season you're going to want to ease up a little bit. But these guys like playing those big minutes, and they want to be there in the big situations. Florida's fourth line does not get a whole lot of playing time, although when they were out there, I thought they were extremely effective. Ryan Lomberg and Patrick Hornquist. Hornquist gets about 9 minutes. Lomberg gets about 8. And who else is on that line? Nick Cousins gets just under 7. So, Alex. That was the Panthers shutting him down in the third period. Pretty impressive. And, it's something that you didn't see a whole lot in the past. They didn't need to, right? They always thought that they could just blow past people. But I think Paul Maurice really wants this team to be able to not only play with speed through the zone, but to also come back and play some defensive hockey. I thought we saw that. We've seen that in the first 2 games. They really seem to be adapting to these new systems well. It's early. We don't know what's going to happen Monday, and you all might yell and scream. But anyway, Hardwood asks, is Eric Stahl going to get signed by the team? They don't have any salary cap space right now. So until they do that, let me tell you guys a little secret, since you're only, it's just us. Eric Stahl, as of last week, still had a locker stall at the Panthers arena. His gear is still in the locker room, so I would think he's still in town. The Panthers are going to try and create some salary cap space. They figure they're going to have injuries. I don't know what's going to happen, but until then, they can't do anything. Right now, the roster is set at 20. There's no room for anything else, but I think once something happens, the Panthers will sign Eric Stahl to a one-year deal, probably at the minimum of $750,000. With every day that goes by, you know, that cap hit gets reduced, but it's such a small amount, it doesn't really matter. But, you know, they don't have the cap space to do it. So until then, I know Eric Stahl wants to be here. I know the Florida Panthers want him to be here. I don't know what other teams had interest in him signing with them. Maybe his agent is getting calls, but for right now, you know, that's all we've got. Let's see here. There we go. There's some of your comments. Gabriel, Tkachuk is the edge we've been missing. Yeah, I mean, that's one reason he's here, right? I mean, the Panthers were looking at this guy as somebody, you know, who is going to come in here and do a lot of good things. Just trying to scroll through some of your messages because they pop off the screen. They gave up nothing in the third. Absolutely right. CF 3-2, 3-4. Fred, hola, G, hello. So far, this seems to play a lot grittier than last year. I think that's by design. I think this team wants to. They know that last year was a high-flying circus, and Matthew Tkachuk talked about it, and I brought it up during the summer. If you look at the Tampa Bay Lightning, the year, do you guys remember when the Tampa Bay Lightning got swept by the Columbus Blue Jackets? I believe that was in 2018 or 2019. Yeah, my first year with the Athletic. When the Blue Jackets swept Tampa Bay in the first round, the Tampa Bay Lightning were all out. Boom, boom, powerful team. Nobody's stopping them. Nobody's stopping them. Nobody's stopping them. They get swept by the Columbus Blue Jackets, and John Cooper. Were you surprised that the Panthers players cleared waivers? Yeah, I was a little surprised Hepanoemi and Carlson cleared. I was surprised about that, but good for the Panthers that they didn't, because, you know, they did a pretty good job yesterday in Charlotte. Charlotte Checkers starting off 1-0. They play again tonight. They play the Hartford Wolfpack. I believe the kickoff is at 7 o'clock from the Bojangles Coliseum in Charlotte. So if you're in the Charlotte area, go check that out. But anyway, John Cooper, after the Lightning gets swept by the Blue Jackets, apparently talks to his players. He says, "Guys, we did it your way. Now we're doing it my way. You saw how your way ended with a sweep to the Blue Jackets. We saw how your way did. Now we're going to do it my way." And they became a more defensive team. Matthew Tkachuk talked about this the other night. The Tampa Bay Lightning are still one of the most powerful offensive teams in the National Hockey League. They are one of the most feared teams in the league. They can score whenever they feel like it. But they're also an extremely tough team to play against, and they have been ever since that sweep to the Blue Jackets. So, yeah, I mean, I think the Florida Panthers are definitely wanting to become more like that. I think the NFL's a copycat league. Well, so is the National Hockey League. You see what works. That one year that St. Louis won the Cup, everybody wanted to get bigger. Now everybody just wants to get tougher, but still you want to have the skill. And that's that. So anywho, we've gone on almost 20 minutes here, and I appreciate you all for joining me. Cooper with the Sinatra line. Do it my way. Do it my way. Was it New York? New York? I don't know. One of those lines. Anyway, I appreciate you all joining me again. Give us a follow here. I think it's I don't know what you do. You subscribe to it or something, but something. Anyway, on the YouTube channel. Visit us at Floridahockeynow. Follow me at George Richards on Twitter. Colby up in New York. Hey, Colby, at Colby D. Guy. And we will see you again for the Panther postgame following Monday night's game in Boston. We'll see you all later. Thanks a bunch. Bye-bye.